Like many other words, leech can refer to several different things. If this were a good 2,000 years ago, long before modern medicine and when doctors wore the single most uninviting masks a professional could wear, leeching, technically known as bloodletting, was a term used to describe a medical treatment that was utilized for just about anything. A doctor would place hundreds of leeches on your body while sporadically and inadvertently poking you with his fat beak, and this would supposedly cure your fever, your cancer, your hepatitis C, whatever your ailment may be. Essentially, they were meant to be a miracle cure for all diseases. Yet, somehow, the majority of the time they were used, the person being leeched either died or got worse, while the leeches thrived. You could probably see where I'm going with this. Leeching is a phrase that is definitely nothing new on YouTube. In fact, at this point, it's almost required vocabulary if you want to criticize someone.
You absolute
I, for one, would definitely know that, and I'd like to give a completely unrelated hello to everyone who came over from Pyrocynical's channel. But when it comes to defining what a leech is, the definition gets a bit messy. If you collaborate with a YouTuber that's bigger than you, does that make you a leech? What if you're the sibling of a notable content creator and even do content similar to them? What do we call that? Or if there's a person who's been front and center quite a lot lately and you decide to reignite your friendship with them and collaborate to get a few extra views off their name, are you one of these slimy little creatures then?
This is a publicity stunt.
is it?
In all of those cases, I would say not necessarily. Those aren't instances of leeching. Collaborating is simply collaborating, and by nature of collaboration, one person is always going to have more of a following than the other. There's no problem with that. If you're blood related to someone who's notable, why wouldn't you use that to your advantage? I assure you, if I was Zoella's brother, I would have made a channel the fucking morning after she hit 100,000 subscribers. This is definitely a case of nepotism, but I don't see an inherent problem with it if they produce content that people enjoy. Unless you're CJ So Cool, in which case, why the fuck aren't you in prison yet, you fucking cunt?
I'm gonna crush about 4 of these up and I'm gonna mix them in some ice cream and separately give them a bowl each.
As for the last one, reigniting friendships, yeah, it's a bit more questionable, but I'm not certain it makes you a leech. It just makes you a massive dickhead, especially in the event that the person reigniting the friendship very, very clearly doesn't want to be there.
Basically, there's this festival called Hidden Village, and you can go to this festival if you put them in the description if you'd like to go to this festival.
In recent years, excluding the guaranteed quick attention grabbers like kissing prank videos gone sexual with boobs in the thumbnail, insert noun challenges with other big YouTuber, and being physically attractive, making videos talking about or making fun of other people is about all you can do to grow at this point. This very video and my channel as a whole are fine examples of that. Not only have I talked about other YouTubers and personalities in every video I've made with the exception of one, my first 2 videos included the then trending YouTuber's name in the title. I've since opted to leave those out because it makes me feel superior when I talk about trending topics without needing to do a drama alert scarce tag orgy in my title line, but I'm still talking about it, so I can't really give myself a complete pass, can I? And speaking of drama alert and scarce, they get hit with this leeching label pretty frequently. However, in my most likely unpopular opinion, drama channels, or news channels if you want to use the word news incorrectly, deserve something of a pass for this. Admittedly, scarce tends to get off with minimal criticism for reasons I don't really understand, and it's just Keemstar getting shit at this point, which I completely understand. But there are plenty of people who believe that drama channels exclusively benefit off of others' mistakes, quality content, or even their good deeds. Those people are absolutely correct. People fighting on the internet has become more interesting than the videos produced by the combatants. In the words of Jack Douglas,
Drama is more popular than content.
it certainly is, and while drama overtaking content and popularity is problematic to me, I'm not so sure that reporting on drama itself is. If we compare Drama Alert to its television counterparts like Entertainment Tonight, these TV channels do the same thing Drama Alert does, just with improved production value, hosts that don't resemble a freshly paroled fuckboy wizard with an eating disorder, subjects that a considerably larger number of people care about for similarly indescribable reasons, and a complete awareness that what they're covering doesn't really need to be factual, just has to be interesting gossip. That last bit in particular is something Keem could use a dose of.
If you're a Keemstar fan, you know I only tell the truth.
Okay. That's not to say these TV channels are any better than Drama Alert, because they aren't. But it does seem bizarre to me that people have an adamant opposition to anyone reporting on YouTube gossip and drama, yet don't seem to acknowledge that this is a part of quite literally every successful form of media. In my eyes, the existence of not only Drama Alert and Scarce, but Philip DeFranco, Ty Blue, whoever your little heart desires, these channels have started both cropping and blowing up because YouTube has become a big enough form of media to have genuine celebrities within it. Sure, even the most notable YouTube celebrity, who's pretty inarguably PewDiePie, has trouble rivaling the popularity of even a mid-level actor and musician, I would still be hard-pressed not to call him a celebrity, and he's certainly not the only one. Many have made the argument that these drama channels make YouTube harder to take seriously, but in my mind, they legitimize it. If people aren't talking about all the stupid beef and fuck-ups that YouTubers are making, that'd mean there was no interest in it, and since there clearly is, does that not put YouTube a step closer to the same playing field as television, film, music? Both drama channels and actual television news channels are by nature required to be leeches, as their shows are impossible without other people's interesting events. Actually, interesting is is far too strong of a word.
Jessica tweeted this out today. She said, "I am so done." The Mystic Got Jokes tweeted this out. He said, "Yo, Jessica, it was just a prank. You need to chill." Then she said this, "You take shit too far." And then Mystic replied back saying, "Fuck."
But the point remains. However, where I think leeching gets problematic is when channels or individuals that have very little to nothing to add to a situation aside from a recap and an incredibly inoffensive opinion report on every trending topic that comes about when that has never been the focus of their channel. The most recent and perhaps biggest offender of this is Stephen Williams, better known as Boogie2988. Now I know Boogie is a guy that very few people like to go after, and with good reason. He seems both incredibly nice and quite genuine, and is honestly one of the very few YouTubers you never really hear of anyone having any problem with. He's also been through no shortage of hardships in his life, but while I sympathize with that, I don't think it shields him from criticism. For those unfamiliar with Boogie2988, he's actually been around for quite some time. He opened his channel all the way back in 2006, where it started as a fairly cookie-cutter vlog channel. It wasn't until Boogie introduced the Francis character, a hyper-aggressive Lishby man with a fondness for shouting and breaking shit, that his channel started gaining traction. The first of these videos was uploaded in July of 2009, and while these Francis videos swiftly became his most popular, he continued vlogging along with some, unique conceptual art installations. A little under a year later, his video of Francis getting angry at a ban from World of Warcraft was featured on Ray William Johnson's Equals 3.
What's happening for him?
Then one of the most subscribed YouTube channels with well over 1 million subscribers. An exact subscriber count at this time is actually difficult to find, given that sites like Social Blade only started cropping up in 2011, but I would say 1 million's a pretty safe bet. This gave Boogie's channel a massive boost, and seeing as Francis was blowing up, he increased his production of Francis videos and refocused his non-Francis videos to still be largely gaming related. I realize that's a lot of backstory, but he is someone who's been around for quite a long time, and I feel that longevity is essential to my point. From 2009 until about 6 months ago, Boogie was a channel dedicated to comedy and gaming. But at some point in that last little while, he decided that he should start talking about YouTube drama. To this day, I have absolutely no idea what triggered this decision, but it seems to have started back when he made a response to Matthew Santoro's abuse story. I don't want to be misconstrued. I'm not criticizing Boogie for responding to that, as he had a perfectly valid reason to, although I do think he benefited off of Santoro's situation and gained views he wouldn't have gained otherwise. But after this, the first big YouTube drama video Boogie produced was one on the Fine Brothers React world. Perhaps out of a misplaced sense of ironic humor, he decided to make his video on it a literal reaction video in the vein of Blasphemous HD or Jinx, where he sits and just watches. Then occasionally pauses, says something obvious.
So if you're interested in creating your own version of
Scary
any of our
times.
React formats, which if you don't, then what is wrong with you? Click.
What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me is I like what I'm doing right now. I don't really... I mean, I would like to work with you guys in some capacity, in some way. I'd love to see elders react or kids react to Francis versus Boogie, introduce the Francis character, and then introduce them to who I actually am, and see if we can talk about prejudice and weight prejudice. I would love to work with you, obviously, but I don't necessarily want to work for you.
And then unpauses and continues watching. I don't understand how he didn't get more shit for this. It is quite literally what Blasphemous does in every single one of his videos, and people crucify him. But okay, let's maybe give him a pass for this one, because we were all really mad at the Fine Brothers at this point, so who cares if they get fucked over? And let's also give him a pass for making another video on it when they canceled React World that essentially boiled down to him saying,
The Fine Brothers have basically decided to shut down any idea of React World, any idea of trademarking the word React. They've decided to rescind their trademarks on things like Teen React and Elders React. They're supposed to be releasing all of their previous copyright claims, though not every copyright claim, but a majority of them. And it looks like they've basically backed down for the plan altogether.
Both of these got well over 1 million views, and I just want you to keep that number in the back of your head. Let's look at his video about the shit slinging between H3H3 and Leafy, shall we? No, we shan't, because it doesn't exist. You wouldn't know that from the title, though. In this video, which I'd like to note has been unlisted along with a few others, Boogie actually defends his then recent increased coverage of YouTube drama.
A lot of you have called me out on making a lot more videos about this type of YouTube drama or other creators or events in the community, and you're right to do that, but let me explain to myself here. Some of you will say you're doing it to try to get extra views or whatever. If I want extra views, I just make another good Francis video. Those get 2 or 3 times the views anyway.
But here's the thing. His Francis videos, especially as of late, seldom break 1 million views. Even going as far back as January, most of them still haven't. This video, which he unlisted months ago, has 1.3 million views. The way I see it, there's only a couple possibilities. One, Boogie hadn't noticed how much increased traffic he was getting from his drama videos. I find this one highly unlikely, bordering on impossible. YouTube is his career after all. Surely he would notice these were getting more views. The second option is he's fibbing and just trying to defend himself. I think this is probably what happened, but I also think it's perfectly acceptable. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do when YouTube is your job, even if you do get a bit of backlash for it. Except this video was titled Leafy vs H3H3, and yet it was made before Leafy had even apologized, let alone struck back at H3, which took another day. I dug through Boogie's Twitter to find the exact upload time of this video, just to confirm that it was before Leafy's apology. He put it up at 5:10 a.m. Eastern time. Now, I wasn't able to find when Leafy posted his apology, as his Twitter was hacked and wiped a few months ago, but I feel safe in saying that it was probably later than 5 in the fucking morning, especially Eastern time, considering that Leafy lives in Mountain time, a good 2 hours behind that. Boogie portrayed this as a battle when, at that point, it had only been one person firing one shot. Not to mention, as I've said, he jumped on making a video before Leafy had a chance to apologize, which I've similarly criticized H3H3 for doing, as I find it incredibly scummy. The same criticism can be applied to Boogie. Now, in Boogie's defense, he's largely stopped making these videos, though the worst of them to me, his 2 Fine Bros videos, remain up. This is largely due to a tremendous amount of backlash he received from a video on the Matthew Santoro plagiarism allegations, as he, to many people, including myself, appeared to be defending Santoro's alleged plagiarism, but I'm not gonna get into that, as he swiftly deleted that video and apologized, which I respect the hell out of.
I done goofed. I fucked up. I don't blame anybody but me. I'm not saying that you're not smart enough to get it. I'm saying that the video was too long. I didn't get the point across well enough. I didn't drive the point home across. I did not say what I intended, and because of that, it's had a negative impact on the community.
But despite his decision to predominantly stop making this kind of content on his channel, it's undeniable that by the time he stopped, he had already profited and grown from it quite a lot while adding next to nothing. Now I can see the comments now. Aren't you criticizing Boogie for doing the exact same thing you do? No, I don't think I am, but fuck it, why only throw me under the bus? Let's just cover every commentary channel all at once. A commentary channel that doesn't rely on content made by others is about as rare a sight as a video game that lives up to the hype or Daniel Keem without a snapback on. The only larger channel that doesn't do this is Luna, who has well over 1 million subscribers and is actually the 2nd largest commentary channel on YouTube. I may be forgetting someone, but as far as I can recall, he's the only person with a sizable following that exclusively tells stories over gameplay without ever really featuring any other content. As for those who do utilize others' content, obviously there's Leafy, who is and will pretty much definitely remain the top dog, and as we spiral down, we get to Pyrocynical, Official Duck Studios, Nafuckers, Colossal is Crazy, Hey Watch Your Mouth, Memulous, Elvis the Alien, Lando, Brad Does Banter, Bionic Pig, Chubbs, That British Dude, me. Every single channel I've listed relies on the content of others, beyond of course the gameplay that many of them use to fill in the gaps. So where am I to criticize people for doing this when I do it myself? Obviously I'm biased, and I think taking my opinion with a grain of salt is both fair and even recommended in this instance, but I think commentary channels, in a lot of cases, shouldn't be criticized for discussing things in the YouTube community or videos made by others, because frankly, that's what commentary videos are a lot of the time. It's the same core argument I made for drama and news channels. However, I think commentaries are a bit different from those even still. Drama Alert and Scarce both keep their opinions on what they cover pretty minimal, with Scarce's opinion being limited to the words
insane, crazy,
and Keemstar's opinions being limited to actually, he kind of just gives his opinion willy-nilly. There's no consistency there. But when it comes to commentaries, the focal point of the video is the opinion or personality of the commentator.
People are going to come see, their personality or their reactions.
No, this isn't the same fucking thing. Don't you even try. Jinx and his motley crew of almost entirely dark-skinned compatriots and their one token cup of sour cream play the videos in their entirety, while commentators make an active effort to chop up the content to the highlights, putting the focus more on their opinions and sense of humor. It'd be similar to comparing H3H3 or the Fine Bros to Jinx or Blasphemous, and I think the only reason the comparison gets made is because instead of seeing the commentator's face, there's gameplay footage in between. Onision has made this very point about Leafy.
The likely reason you almost never see the dude in his own videos, because again, that requires effort. He actually has to consider his appearance, and he has to present his physical body to everybody.
This point seems fucking ridiculous to me. Both Hey Watch Your Mouth and Elvis the Alien do videos that alternate between featuring their faces and gameplay footage, and I fail to see how the gaming footage or the presence of their faces values or devalues their content. Again, looking inwards, would my channel really be improved by showing my face? I don't see how it would. Would it be better if I'm wearing this bear mask, pink turtleneck, and fucking underwear in my videos? No. And I'm not about to face reveal, because my videos are more about the words I'm saying rather than how I look when I'm saying them, and I think the same argument can be made for any channel that uses gameplay. However, commentary channels can undoubtedly wander into deep leeching territory if they cover topics that they have nothing to add to. If you want to find a commentary channel that's running low on ideas, check to see if they've made a Keemstar rant in the last few months. Everything about the guy has pretty much been covered between iDubbbz, Pyrocynical, Leafy, and Grade, so what all is there to add at this point? Other than using the
"Why am I still getting hate?"
clip as a punchline, there's next to nothing new to say. If not a video on Keemstar, they might just make a video recapping a popular story to get some easy views. We can loop back to Marina Joyce on this one. There's no shortage of completely useless useless and vapid videos on that subject, but hell, any channel can do this. A prime example of this was back when PewDiePie, Markiplier, and Matthew Santoro all made videos condemning YouTube drama. Markiplier's was pointless and PewDiePie's slightly hypocritical, but Matthew Santoro's was a combination of the two that created a neutral void and added absolutely nothing to the table. He did it for the money and the inevitable attention it would get, which he doesn't seem too ashamed of doing. I could go on about this forever and ever if I really wanted to, as there's no shortage of things to be said on this concept, but what it comes down to is you can really only leech if you pull from something and offer nothing in return. Even having said that drama channels do leech, which they do, I still think they offer something of a service by providing an easily accessible location for any of the gossip that people apparently care to know about. But if you gain nothing else from this video, try to keep this in mind. You can talk about whatever you want, just make sure you're the one talking about it. I'm gonna steal the talking after credits idea from a few people, frankly, but I feel like it'd actually be really beneficial for me considering how infrequently I upload, which is the first thing I want to address. Upload frequency actually will be increasing a considerable amount in the coming weeks. I'm hoping for at least 2 big videos a month, if not more, and probably 1 or 2 YouTube 101s in there as well. Now, that's what I'm aiming for, obviously, you guys know me. I've actually already started working on my next video, which is a bright side, I guess, so that should be out sooner rather than later. I can't really give like a firm expectation of when that'll actually be out. Also, aside from the fan art you saw on screen, you've been looking at footage from a guy called Killysunt. He's actually one of my favorite YouTubers. He's only got about 2,000 subscribers right now, and hopefully those of you who actually do stick around help me make that number a little bit higher. Honestly, he's funny as shit. There's no like cordial way to put that. He's just fucking hilarious. So I'd highly recommend checking out Killysunt. He will be in the description, and thanks for being patient with me. Next video should be sooner. Maybe. Also, thanks, Pyro!